Welcome everyone to NTAC Live 2012. I'm coming to you live from Grand Rapids, Michigan at the NTAC Annual Conference. I'm Alan Veach, Director of Regional Development for the NTAC Network, and I am really excited to have with me today at NTAC Live Mansoureh Tehrani. How's it going, Mansoureh?
It's going great.
Having a great conference?
Great conference. Enjoyed all my sessions.
Fantastic. Well, Mansoureh, you obviously, I hope, had a great surprise earlier today.
I did.
You were named the Susan Schilling Award winner for the NTAC Network for the year. And so can you just tell us a little bit kind of what does that mean to you personally and professionally to be recognized by the network as the Susan Schilling Award winner?
As you mentioned, it was a great surprise. I really did not expect to be number one, be nominated for that award and actually receive it. Some of the people who have received that award, like Mark Morrison, who was my coach when I started my residency, and Paula Hansel, who has been my mentor for the past 6 years. Really, watching them for the past 2 years to receive that, you always put yourself in a position, maybe one day I will get that, and to hear my name or listening to the description, at one point I realized they're probably talking about my school, So it was a great, I can't tell you how exhilarating it was to be considered as part of, the group of leaders like Paula and Mark and receive this award. Hopefully I'm worthy of it.
Well, I know the network, just across the network, we have so much respect for you. And as we were talking about that reward, the one thing that I noticed most is there were a lot of people that no longer had dry eyes. Mm-hmm. And so what does that mean to you to see that you've touched so many people's lives, colleagues' lives personally?
Mm-hmm. As you know, I didn't start in the education field. I was born in Iran, and my dad had a third-year education. He was a successful businessman, but really only had opportunity to do 3 years of education. But he always had the desire for all of his kids to really get educated and then give back to the community. That's one thing that he did do as a leader in our community. So when I came to the States, I did not have a good experience education in Iran. I also did not have a good experience the education that I got here. I started learning English here in the ELL classes and quickly going through my college classes and realizing how hard it is to be a minority, whether that's the language barrier or the social barrier. I knew right then that one day I want to be able to turn that around. Through the course of event, getting married, working in the private sector, having kids, there was a time in my life that I was traveling a lot, and I realized that, I was not receiving back. I was giving a lot to the, corporations that I was working, but I was not feeling that I was making any impact. So by the time my kids were starting their middle school, I decided that I wanted to really move towards that dream that I had, that one day I'm going to serve society through education, and went back and got my, educational certification and all that. And now knowing that, 18 years later, starting as a teacher and really pushing the envelope from day one. I mean, I'm not a typical teacher, never was. I have not been a typical leader. I'm willing to stand up for justice. I don't have to be the favorites of anybody because, in the end, I know I can be a good someone on, behind the McDonald's counter. But giving justice back to the kids that need it has been the forefront of my dream. So I'm glad to be able to do that now.
That's really awesome. I know, Mansoureh, I've never had the opportunity to come down to Texas and visit METSA, but just across the network, everybody who's had a chance to see your school just talks about really how amazing it is and just the amazing things you do with kids. And so just take a little bit of time and talk about METSA and talk about your vision for METSA when it first started, and also talk a little bit about your vision for METSA going forward and what you're able to do for the kids down there.
Okay. When we first started the school, I told you my desire was to really provide an environment for any kid to feel comfortable in a school setting, because I didn't have that. So I wanted METSA to be home away from home for all of my students, regardless of their background. METSA is a school within a school in a comprehensive high school of 2,200 students. It's a huge campus. We have a diverse population, but mostly Hispanic population. Close to 80% are on free and reduced lunch. So a lot of our kids lack that self-confidence that they can actually achieve. So my goal when I was first starting METSA was to really give the kids the confidence they need to believe in themselves, that they can achieve whatever they wanted to. And through the help of the staff, the team that we put together, and really that first group of students that we recruited, really understanding my message, what do we want, what is the mission of this school, and where do we want to be 5 years down the road or 10 years down the road. We've been able to really give that focus to the school. The school is a place that the kids come, they're there at 6 in the morning, and you have to really kick them out by 8 o'clock. I really want to go home. I haven't colored my hair in the past 2 months. I need to make up this appointment. So I want to have that feeling. At the same time, I also want the kids know that we want to challenge them while providing that support that they needed. So this past year, every one of our students who started with us as a freshman graduated. Every one of them is pursuing either a 2-year program or a 4-year program, with the exception of 3 who've joined the military. So just that feeling of knowing that the kids that you started in 9th grade with them and they didn't believe in themselves, I don't belong here, by November they wanted to leave,
wanted to go home.
This is too hard, and just seeing that evolution is such a great feeling. Where we're going, our school, the main campus is actually, because of the successes that the METSA has had and some of the other schools that we visited, they've decided to divide the main campus into 3 other small learning communities. So our goal is to really train the staff in the main campus on the PBL and the entire cultural pieces and the pedagogy of the new tech model, and help them to develop what we have developed. We've also been asked to help lead the training at the district level. So we started an initiative for the 9th grade teachers across the district. So it's really to help them see some of the benefits that we have experienced, and really learn from their experiences as well. I've told the staff, I tell the kids, this is not about an end, this is just a journey, and we need to live through it and savor every minute of it.
Exactly. And so thinking about that journey, and you started a year before I did, before I started my school in 2008, and I don't know about you, but when I walked into that room Tuesday morning and saw 1,200 people in that room, and just the number of staff members for New Tech Network, it was really pretty overwhelming to me. And I also had an opportunity this week to be in a room with Paul Curtis and Mark Morrison, who you both I guess hold in really high regard as 2 of the original founders of Napa New Tech. And so talk about kind of the journey of the network over time, and what were your thoughts Tuesday morning when you walked in and saw that massive room full of people?
I was overwhelmed. When I did my residency, before joining the network, right after we joined the network, I was in a room with Mark Morrison for 3-4 days. It was just he and I coaching. Then he would leave me alone, and I would do. But I didn't have really a thought partner. So Mark was also my thought partner.
Right.
And then to go through the evolution, we've been a demonstration site for the past 3 or 4 years, having all these schools coming through, and then joining them. You see them the next year or at the leadership summit. Oh, I've come to your school. I'm like, I'm so glad that you joined the network. It's just a great feeling to be able to be part of a movement that's growing so rapidly. I would have never imagined that we will be 120 schools 5 years later.
Isn't that amazing?
And all these teachers and leaders to be together. It's just the brain power in this facility is just a great experience.
Yeah, I am amazed by that. And running a school is hard work. And I've heard you often say that you get to school at 6, you leave at 8. I personally always say lots of times that you know, family first. You have to have a laugh outside. So what do you do for fun, or what have you been doing this summer for fun? And are you able to connect anything that you do for fun? Are you always trying to look for a connected back to school?
Oh no! I mean, I was away for 20 days right before this conference. My husband is celebrating his 60th birthday, so I decided to surprise him and take him to Ireland on a surprise trip. That's something that's been on his bucket list. So that was a great trip, and I went to Iran for 10 days, visited with my family, saw many of my friends from high school, college days. So that was a great experience to hook up with them and see what everybody is doing. I have 2 grandkids, and I
Awesome.
love spending time with them. So even though I spend a lot of time at school, I also try to take advantage every minute that I'm away from school. I don't require a lot of sleep. That's one genetic benefit.
That's nice.
So I sleep 4 hours, and I can run on that for the other 20.
There you go. So, we're doing all this work, and I'm sure when you go back, you'll be ready to really start focusing on school. And the theme of the conference this week is diving into deeper learning. And when we leave here, we got 120 schools will be starting. They're all going to be diving into their school year. And so, if you could think of a couple things that you might just kind of words of advice you might say to even veteran directors or new principals about what are just a couple things that you would encourage them to really do as they think about diving into their school year as a director of a new tech?
I guess when you dive, you want to have that support. You want to have that tank of oxygen with you. So before diving, you need to make sure that you have the proper equipment, and that comes with making sure that your staff has the training they need,
right.
the support structure in place, the support from you that even if they fail, you're going to pick them up, and together you learn the right way to do whatever it is. And taking baby steps. You don't become a good diver until you actually maybe take that first lesson in the swimming pool. So my advice is to take it one step at a time, but be sure that make sure you get to the end of that journey to see the beauty at the bottom of the ocean.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time. I can say that, like I said, you came in the network a year before me, but as a director, I've just always really saw you as someone that is a mentor to me, and just really enjoyed our work together. And I know that all the directors that continue to come in the network really value your experience and your candidness and your ability to share with that. And personally couldn't think of anyone else that I would rather see get the Schilling Award than you.
Thank you.
It's so well deserved. And so thanks. Enjoy the rest of the conference. I know you're meeting with your team tonight, which is always a great thing for directors to do here. And so enjoy the rest of the conference. And I'll just say on behalf of Mansoureh Tehrani and I, we have been diving a little deeper into what it's like to be a director at METSA and her life experiences. And we would just like to say have a great conference, have a great school year. And thanks for being with us for this amount of time. Thank you.
Thank you.